A lot of you may be familiar or at least have seen the current VR technology, whether it's the Facebook Oculus or Meta Quest, or even the Sony PlayStation VR set. These devices all allow you to experience games and movies as if you were in the scene or acted as the main character. Some devices even go further, like the Apple Vision Pro, which allows you to have information on your screen during your daily lives. So this begs the question, what will the metaverse look like? Find out in this episode of Futures Calling. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Aaron Zhang and I'm your host of the Futures Calling podcast. Now, before we get started, I wanted to clarify what is AR versus VR. VR is created using a separate space. It's completely digitalized and you can be 100% immersed in it, and it's completely separated from our physical world. AR, on the other hand, uses elements of our physical world paired with digital elements to form a sort of mixed world. And many of these devices that I mentioned earlier have both VR and AR functions. Now, apart from gaming and streaming movies and shows, or exploring a digital playground, AR and VR have so much ceiling space in terms of its expansion capabilities. Now, my vision for VR, and I'm sure many others have this view as well, is that if one company is able to consolidate enough of the VR market space, they can build a digital world, or a metaverse as they call it. And this will allow for its users to live in and collaborate with each other, and not just participate in games. Similarly to MMO games, this company could run an absolutely huge server supporting millions or even possibly billions of active users, something like Club Penguin, but in virtual and 3D. And it can essentially replicate everything in our world and even build new projects. And it can allow for people, person to person, or even group interaction. This sort of world replication project could allow people to explore all different landmarks and settings, like the Eiffel Tower, the Great Wall, the Amazon rainforest, allowing people to visit and experience places that they normally wouldn't be able to do. And people could also have the opportunity to build things that would otherwise be either physically impossible or not within a budget. And this could be a huge upgrade as well for disabled or impaired people. People with degenerative nerve or brain diseases like Parkinson's, giving them complete control over their bodies to do as they please and live a better life in the cloud. Now, one obvious shortcoming of VR is the ability to replicate our senses. We know we can see and we can hear through these VR devices, but can we taste and can we feel? These senses are very important in creating a completely immersive VR experience. For example, if you were to visit Japan for the first time, you would want to taste their food, right? You would want to taste their ramen. If you're going to go skydiving, you want the sensation of the wind and the free fall. And on the beach, you want to feel the sense of the sand and the waves washing against your skin. We don't have bodysuits that are advanced enough to provide these feelings, these sensations. But when we do, it will really enhance our experience with VR. Now, there are definitely founded concerns over the loss of in-person communication skills and interpersonal skills. What we don't want to create is an internet weeb. But actually, if you look at it in the right light, VR can actually provide an environment for the socially awkward to practice in and then translate what they've learned into real life. All in all, VR is totally up to the user to decide how to use it. So what do you think about VR? Will it remain a simple 3D viewing and gaming device, or will it become our second home? That sums up today's episode. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode, where we will be covering every teenager's addiction, social media.